Hello everybody. I am getting on, it's a Monday afternoon, and I had originally said that I was going to get on earlier today, so I think I had promised like Monday at 10:30, but here didn't mess with my live. Sorry, someone was calling, and I'm on my phone today, so I am outside on my patio because it's a beautiful day and the kitty needs some outside time as well. But today I'm going to talk about a healing crisis. So what is a healing crisis? What does that even mean? But before I talk about that and what essential oils I'm going to use for something like a healing crisis, first I'm going to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me yet. My name is Hillary and I work with doTERRA Essential Oils. I'm a wellness advocate and I work with individuals to create freedom in every aspect of their lives through the use of essential oils related to building and personal growth. So with that, I am also coaching a fitness challenge, a 12-week fitness challenge with a program called doTERRA. And so that program starts in a week. It starts Monday, May 7th. And anybody who's interested in joining that, it's $25 for 3 months of this amazing challenge with this amazing program that really looks at your individual small actions on a daily basis to really help change your overall habits that will ultimately help change your fitness and change your overall wellness. So we are just finishing up with month 4 in the current challenge that I'm working on and that I'm coaching. We are seeing amazing results and we are having a really great time. And I would love to have any of you on my team for this upcoming 12-week challenge. Again, we are starting this upcoming Monday, May 7th, and you have until May 6th, Sunday, May 6th to finish registering, and I can post the link for that. But I just encourage everyone to check it out. It's an absolutely amazing program. So aside from TerraFit, which I am probably every time I get on here, I'm going to continue to plug because it's so amazing. Aside from TerraFit, I'm going to talk about a healing crisis. So I'm going to throw it out there and I'm going to let today kind of be a first part of a 2-parter. And then when I get back on next Monday, I'm going to see if anybody responded, and I'm actually going to have a giveaway because I'm doing a giveaway as part of my oil business. But I figure I would extend that to you guys just based on this specific live. But I wanted to talk about what happens when you are working on a goal or you're working through a challenge or something like I'm working on, like TerraFit, or you are really working towards something and expecting a certain result. But what happens when you're getting the total opposite result? And you feel like you've been doing really consistent things to keep working on that action. Well, with a healing crisis in the medical world, so from a physiological standpoint or a physical standpoint, a healing crisis is what happens when your body is detoxing. And a lot of times when we're detoxing, we are physically trying to rid our physical selves of toxins, of things that are in our bodies that may not necessarily be serving us. And a lot of times when our body is trying to find a new normal with something else that we're doing for our body, or really maybe we're trying to change our physical habits, maybe we're trying to change the way we're doing things in a routine basis. When it comes to changing things, hey Andrea, how are you? When it comes to changing things for yourself, you may come up after a couple weeks or a couple days of working consistently on a goal, you may start to see the opposite of what you were expecting to see. And that's exactly what, for me personally, is coming up right now. So with TerraFit, with this challenge, as a coach, my main goals with this challenge were not only to get more physically fit, but it was really also to show up and to be consistent and to use it as a model for myself for my business. So to continue to move forward with my business, and consistency and follow through are really my main challenges as a business owner. So this for me was a challenge not only in improving my own physical wellness and physical fitness, but it was really also a challenge for me to stay consistent with my team, stay consistent with my visibility, so be visible and be on lives and do videos and to really connect with the people on my team and also to promote this challenge. Well, that's meaning I'm having to be very visible, which is somewhat new for me in my business. It's becoming more, more natural, more something that I want to do every day. But it's really interesting how my body is reacting to it after we just finished our 4th week of the challenge. After the 4th week of the challenge, my healing crisis is both physical and mental. So I mentioned that physiologically, a healing crisis is something that we're dealing with as we're moving to a new normal. And thank you, Andrea. And it's a way of detoxing. So sometimes your symptoms or whatever your goals may be physically, you're going to see them come up maybe even worse than they had been before. So a lot of times you'll hear people say, and this isn't new by any means, you'll hear people say it gets worse before it gets better. Well, we all know, right, that success is not linear, not by any means. And a lot of times we take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's a dance to get to our finish line, to get to our goals. And that's where the healing crisis comes in. Well, a healing crisis can be just as much emotional or mental as it is physical. So for me, the physical issue that was coming up for me was that within the last week probably, and especially within the last couple days, my entire body started breaking out. And you can probably tell, you can probably see that my skin right now is kind of speckly, but it was almost at a shocking rate that my entire body started breaking out. And I started to get really frustrated because, of course, I was still in the bubble. I was still trying to figure out physically what's going on because I'm making all of these changes to what I'm eating, to what I'm doing, to the amount of water that I'm drinking, to the oils that I'm using, to the supplements that I'm taking in. So I should just be getting better and better and better, right? So what is this? And it's not just a little bit breaking out. My 11-year-old daughter came to me last night and she was like, "Mom, you need to stop eating so healthy. I think that's your problem." And then that's when it hit me. Oh, I think this is a healing crisis. This is it getting worse before it gets better. So on a physical basis, my entire body is working on readjusting, and it's probably detoxing to a certain extent. And this actually happens to me when I start taking certain supplements on a regular basis. I get a rash at the base of my spine, which makes sense because your spinal column is really what's working on your neurology and making everything flow smoothly. And when you are detoxing and trying something new, a rash at the base of my spine totally makes sense. It lasts for a day or two, and then my body starts to feel a whole bunch better. With this particular situation, it's not just a pimple here or there. It's literally every time I walk by the mirror, it's like, oh my gosh, there's another one. I think it looks like I have the measles, on my chest and my back, and it's uncomfortable. I feel like I'm in high school again. But I had to take a step outside of my bubble to realize that, this is my body's way of really detoxing. And if you have chatted with me about oils, you probably know that one of my main views, my main way of looking at things is looking at emotional aspects of who we are and what we're dealing with as the basis for what our body is doing physically. So instead of saying, okay, well, I better reach for my oils to deal with everything that's coming out through my skin, which makes sense, right? Your skin is the largest organ of your body, and it's basically the last stop for any toxins or any negative substances in our body that are not serving our body. It's the last stop for all those things to pass through. And as all those things try to work their way out of your physical being, it's logical that something would come out on the surface of your skin as it's trying to work itself out of your system. Totally makes sense. But on an emotional basis, what possibly could be going on? So I know personally, for me, I know exactly what's going on. I've identified it. I've looked at it. It's very clear for me. It's very obvious. So, as a two-parter, I'm going to kind of give my answer next week. But for anybody who's interested in a free 15 milliliter bottle of wild orange, because I'm offering that for something else for my business for today, go ahead and let me know what you think it might be. And when it comes to figuring out what's going on emotionally and how that might be manifesting itself physically for you, you have to be really, really literal. So crazy literal. So if I'm breaking out all over my body, what might that mean emotionally? And I'll give you an example, not this one, but I'll give you an example. Say your foot is really hurting. You have chronic foot pain and you can't figure out what's going on. What could that mean emotionally? Convert that as literally as you possibly can into an emotional phrase for yourself. Into just a phrase for yourself. Maybe it's an idiom, maybe it's just something that pops into your head. But if I'm dealing with chronic foot pain, maybe I'm having trouble taking the next step. Or maybe I'm having trouble standing on my own 2 feet. Be as literal as you possibly can. So for me, when I'm dealing with this particular specific healing crisis, now that when my daughter said, I think you need to stop eating so healthy, and then maybe you won't be dealing with all of these breakouts, I realized that I am absolutely going through a healing crisis. And luckily for me, the oils that I grabbed for deal with both the emotional issue and the physical issue, which is kind of cool sometimes when you're trying to figure out what oils work for a specific issue. Sorry, I'm outside, so there's the traffic. But you may actually end up getting to use the same oil for whatever emotional issue you're dealing with that is also going to directly deal with the physical issue that you're dealing with. So luckily for me, that's the same thing. Sometimes it's not the same, but instead of looking at the physical issue, I'm going to step outside of my bubble. I'm going to kind of look at it from an outside point of view and look at what I could emotionally instead be dealing with instead of just acne everywhere. So yes, I am personally going through a healing crisis, but I will let you know that when you step outside the box, when you look at what's going on, when you look at a healing crisis as the possibility as to maybe why you are dealing with the opposite of the results you were hoping to get, maybe you're at a point in whatever you're doing where it's just about to start getting better, but on a subconscious or an unconscious level, your body is really trying to keep you in that comfort zone, even though that might not be serving you. Your body is doing everything it can to tell you, don't keep going because we don't know what's on the other side of this healing crisis. Our goals have to do with dealing with the unknown, and we're not ready for that. That's where the healing crisis comes from. It's your unconscious being, either on a physical or emotional level, coming to the conclusion that, oh my gosh, if we make it through this, that means we will be in a point that we may never have been through before, and that means the unknown, and that's scary. So we can't possibly go there. But yes, you can. You'll be fine. Healing crises are good things. They're just reminders to keep pushing through. Stay consistent. If you know that you are taking those everyday actions to get to your goal and you are ready to quit because your results are the opposite of what you're looking for, that's simply your reminder to be consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep shooting for your goals. The universe is going to throw everything at you to make sure you're serious, and on a physical level, that can be really uncomfortable. Keep moving forward. So for any kind of healing crisis, the things that I grab for first are going to be, number one, lemon in my water, because lemon is going to help continue to cleanse whatever your physical body is dealing with and get it out of your system. So that's not going to be an issue for you anymore. I put lemon in my water so that I can continue to drink my water and continue to cleanse my body with the water and flush things out. And then the lemon is going to be that additional cleanser for my body. And on top of that, rose, and I've talked about rose a gazillion times. Rose is going to be my number one grab for, because not only is rose really high vibrationally as an essential oil, it is going to help boost my mood, whatever that might look like. It's going to help me stay on track and motivated. But for me, especially in this particular healing crisis, it's any flower oil is going to most definitely touch on any skin imperfections. So rose or lavender are going to be really great for skin imperfections, but that's actually not what I grabbed for. So I'm really interested to see if anybody has a thought on what my emotional healing crisis might be. I clearly know what my physical one is, but what does that convert to emotionally? So if anybody throws out a comment on there, please feel free to ask questions about any of this. I love the idea of healing crises. I don't love the idea that they happen to me, but that's okay because then I get to be the guinea pig. But if you do have a thought on that, I will absolutely enter you into a drawing for a free wild orange, which is an absolutely amazing essential oil. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their Monday. Stay motivated, maintain your momentum, stay positive throughout the week. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next week about my thoughts on this particular healing crisis. Thanks for anybody who hopped on. Feel free to like, comment, question, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks, guys.